So, Jonathan, there was a time about a month ago, I ran into a missionary guy trying to missionize Jews on Ben Yehuda Street in Jerusalem. And you know what? When I was in the army, I really didn't care. I always thought all these Christians were friends, and they always gave me like cards and were like, "We love soldiers" and stuff. But you know what? Now that I'm out of the army, I'm back into that kind of I want to get you guys out of the country mode because this guy was out there trying to recruit Jews, and I figured, you know what? I'm gonna go up to this guy and I'm gonna send him straight. And I wasted his time, and boy, did I waste his time for about almost an hour just talking to him. And by at one point, he just said, "Please leave me alone. Just go away. Just talk to Jesus, and read Jeremiah 5:12." And I was like, whatever. I mean, these missionaries are a menace to Israel, and they're detrimental to our society, and they need to get out. What do you think?
I absolutely agree that the missionaries, anybody who comes here to try to missionize on us, should get out. It is a law in Israel that you cannot missionize on other people. So we have an obligation actually to call the police when that happens. But I had an experience last year in the summer when that happened to me. And there were people that came up, and it was obvious that they were missionizing because they started off the conversation saying, "Are you lost?" As if, I mean, I live here, but like they asked, "Are you lost?" And I said, "No." And they said, "Do you know Jesus?" or something like that. And it was just the way it was very aggressive when they were asking me, like they say, "You really need to read the prophets." And after we separated, I said, "Okay, fine, I'll read." But after we separated, I just got really angry because I have no problems personally with Christians in general or Christian-Zionists even. I have a problem only when you start missionizing on me, especially in Israel. That's even more insulting when that happens here. You want to missionize on other people outside of Israel, that's fine. I understand. I don't want you to missionize on Jews, even outside of Israel, but if you do, I understand. But this is Jewish territory here. And this should not be allowed, and that's what really got me angry, was that it happened specifically here in Israel.
Well, the thing is that it is allowed. The only thing that isn't allowed is when you missionize the minors, which they
Well, really, time out. It is really.
yeah, it's legal except for minors. You can't missionize minors.
Well, then that shouldn't be the case. That needs to be changed, and that needs to be changed as soon as possible, I think.
Yeah, I think most thing is that, you know what, most of these missionaries haven't really read the real Hebrew Bible, and they don't know what they're talking about, and they like to give off all these quotations stuff like they know what they're talking
about. They don't know
about.
the real translations.
Don't know the real translations.
But what is interesting to note is that in the past you have had Christians who have studied the Hebrew Bible, even a few today, like the Puritans, for example, who are not the best friends of Jews. They knew the Bible in Hebrew. So you did have that in the past. But Christian missionaries that generally come up to you today, they don't know Hebrew, and we have the Bible, and we're actually two people who do know Hebrew. I think you probably will know a little bit more Hebrew than me, but it's just very insulting. Excuse me, it's not the Bible, and it's written in our language.
I think it's time for us to rise up against these people, expose them who they are, because they like to come up and disguise themselves as it's the most Jewish thing to believe in Jesus, which it's not, and they like to put on the kippah and peyot and wear tzitzit, and it's like to deceive
These were
people.
Jews for Jesus missionaries?
No, this wasn't Jew. This was a Mennonite guy in the
Okay.
middle of Ben Yehuda, but his purpose was to missionize Jews. And like now it's time for us to fight back, show them what the real Torah talks about, and
We don't want, because our job is not to convert them. Our
No.
job is simply to defend.
our job is to defend our faith, and we have to go out there and we have to defend our faith from people that are out there trying to destroy us spiritually.